Cool. Well, welcome to the Cluster API provider AWS office hours on Monday, the 25th of July, 2022. Just a reminder that we abide by the CNCF Code of Conduct, so please be kind to each other. I've shared the meeting notes here in my window, but I will also share in the chat as well. If you can't access that, then you will need to request access to the SIG Cluster Lifecycle Google group. Please add your name to the attendee list in this document if you can, and any topics that you would like to discuss during the meeting. If you'd like to talk, please use the raise hands feature of Zoom. And if this is your first meeting, let's have a look at the list of attendees. Feel free to unmute yourself now and say hello if you want to.
Hey, hi. I just said.
Hi, Adish.
Hey, hi, Rishabh.
Cool. Well, it's good that you've joined us, Adish.
Yeah, thanks. Richard, can you just guide me means what all the prerequisite I should go through before I start contributing?
Yeah, we can do that. We can. I'll add. What I'll do is I'll add an agenda item, and then we can cover that. So we can add that at the end here. Google. There we go. Start that. Cool. And then Goge, I saw you unmuted.
Yep. Hello. So my name is Gergely. I'm a big fan of Kappa and all the things Kubernetes, and so it was with great pride that I was able to do something meaningful in this project. And yeah, thank you for the promotion. To reviewers, I'm very happy, very happy for that.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant. So maybe Sadef, we can start with that, your first item, and then I could jump back to the action items, just because it's probably a good timing there, isn't it?
Yeah, sounds good. So I created a PR to promote Gergely to a reviewer. He has been an active contributor in the community for a while now and currently working on the very important and complex IPv6 feature. So thanks for all of his contributions. And I propose to start a lazy consensus for a week from today. And if there are no objections by the end of by next Monday, we can merge the PR.
Brilliant. Sounds good to me. And probably on that note as well, the PR for the IPv6 stuff is up for review as well. Cool. So we can move on to the action items from 2 weeks ago. So we had an action item to look into the Markdown link checker. Helpfully, we didn't put any names against these, so I'm not sure if anything will have been done. So if anyone's on the call that did look at the Markdown link checker, feel free to chime up. No, fair enough. I will mark that as a negative. One of the other discussions from a couple of weeks ago was around using Proud to manage the life cycle of the PRs and issues, i.e. that it would close them if they were too old and stale. So we did have a question around whether Proud would be doing this for the PRs. And it does shut the PRs as well as the issues. So we can actually leave Proud to do its thing there. So after that meeting, I did go through and it's going to come up later on as an agenda item, but I did go through and take off the lifecycle frozen of every single issue that we had where that was applied, because we can talk about why that was done. But yeah, so that should already be done. The next action item was on myself. And this was to look into EKS cutoff and load balancers for outposts. Again, I haven't done that. And then I'll take that as a follow-up item. I'm not sure when I will get this done though. And then next one was Abhinav. You had an action item to create an issue around the GitHub actions and token.
Yes, and I actually ended up doing that, but I have not seen much activity in the entire repository so far. So I have mentioned the link in the chat, and maybe, I would request you both, Richard and Sadef, to just go through it and see maybe if there are any changes you would like to propose in the issue itself. I added an additional point from my own end, which was to ease in the process of modifying and maybe like adding or deleting the environment secrets directly through the GitHub repository itself, because in one of the discussions I had quite a while back with Carlos from CatG, he mentioned that there was quite a kind of complicated process to integrate or update the environment secrets within Prow, in which you had to go through several people in between and kind of communicate the requirements and all those discussions we needed to have, right? So for that, I think it would have been a bit painful for secrets involving a GitHub action itself. So I thought maybe we could just stick to GitHub actions or GitHub environment secrets for this purpose. Other than that, I think if we are trying to migrate entirely to the GitHub, to the Prow environment, then maybe we can just immediately create a final PR and migrate it entirely to Prow alone. If I am not wrong, we can also do the existing stuff that we are doing using the GitHub actions within the Prow itself, given that it also checks out the current commit for which the pull request has been made. So if it does, then I think we can also carry out the same tasks over there as well, because most of the stuff that we are doing in our GitHub action, it's like running a main.go file, which will, I think, do pretty much the same thing that the Prow environment itself would do. There would not be much difference running the script or running the Go application on Prow as it would do on the GitHub environment itself. So yeah, maybe I might need your comments on that, what might be possible restrictions within Prow as when we are concerned with this GitHub action. But maybe just I would require your inputs on the issue itself if you have any further comments on what I've mentioned over there.
Cool. Yeah, go for it, Sadef.
Yeah, thanks for creating the issue. So for moving things to Prow completely, I don't see any issue as well. It will be just moving it, the complete logic there as a script, but it is not preferable because we will not be able to modify it manually, and we will not be able to see what images are getting created in a PR. But I mean, if there's no solution for this GitHub token thing, then we will end up doing that. By the way, it's been a while since you joined the meeting, and you mentioned the meetings are monthly, right? Can you point us to the meeting calendar where you found the meeting to see which date they are gonna meet? Because
yeah,
last time
it was a GitHub document itself rather than a meeting. I think there was a GitHub administration document. I've mentioned it in the previous agenda itself. Maybe if you just kind of scroll down.
Okay, I will take a look at it. So it should be you joined on 7th of July, then there will be a meeting in 10 days or so.
Yeah, I guess so.
Probably.
Yeah, so it says meeting fourth Thursday of each month. So I guess that's...
Oh, this is SIG contributs, not GitHub management group, is it?
Yeah. So it turns out that the folks in GitHub contributes are also managing the GitHub management part. So including Arno and I think Chris Short and also Nikita Raghunath. I think all of those folks are there who are managing the GitHub administration part.
Then it is this Thursday.
Yeah.
Or Thursday. Okay, cool. What time was it? Do you remember? I'll go and check. Don't worry.
I think for Indian Standard Time, it was about 9 p.m. I cannot be too sure about the Pacific time. I'll just look into it.
I will take a look. Don't worry. Thanks.
Oh dear, what have I done? So we reckon it's going to be the 28th of this month. So would we take an action item for one of us or a few of us to join on that date? Okay.
Yes, I will join. Yeah.
Okay. Let me put an action item for that. Cool. I'll tidy it up later. Brilliant. So the next agenda item, action item from 2 weeks ago is adding a getting started guide. So we discussed the fact that because we're just including the CAPI guide, there's links that are broken because they are relative to the CAPI repo and not our repo. And should we have our own custom getting started guide? But again, we didn't put a name to this. So maybe create an issue.
I already created an issue trying to find where
brilliant.
it is. Yes.
Cool. Next one was we were going to arrange a discussion on how we can change Kappa based on the managed Kubernetes proposal. So I definitely haven't arranged anything with this. And I don't think, Winnie, I don't think you have you?
No.
No, cool.
I haven't.
So I do have an agenda item later on for this call to go through something related to that. Cool. So that's the end of the action items. So moving on to the normal agenda. So we've already mentioned about promoting Goge to a reviewer. So the next one was mine, which is around the garbage collector feature. So after a few discussions, this has now been split into smaller PRs. So there's 2 open at the moment. Part 1, which is the proposal. Thing to note with this proposal has been written after the code has changed, has been done. So it's after the fact. And then the second one is just the garbage collection service. It's not going to be used anywhere in this PR. It's just sat there doing nothing, but it's used by a later PR that changes the controllers to use it. And this is really just to make the review more manageable instead of having to review 100 files. So once this one has been reviewed, the 3610, there will be 2 additional PRs that will just be based on top of this. And then we should be good to go. Next agenda item is mine again. So I will be sending a doodle out for anyone that's interested around how we change our API based on the managed Kubernetes proposal in upstream CAPI. So I suggest that we do this as a separate call for those that are interested. So if you are interested, if you could send me your email addresses and I'll send a doodle out and we can find the most suitable time and then where we can do some design around the API changes. Cool. Sadef, you have the next item.
Yeah, just wanted to give a quick update on where we are at the version bumps. So Cluster API 1.1.5 has been released and we have an open PR. I just linked it in the agenda. And the only test that is failing is machine pool test. And there was a reason for that. Cluster API machine pool tests were using 0 as a minimum value, and our current implementation doesn't allow that. So Michael was working on it. So he added his PR on top of this PR, but the tests are still failing. We will need to fix that before merging this. So after this PR is merged, we will need to backport it to 1.5 release so that we use the latest version of CAPI for the upcoming release. And then I created another PR for bumping CAPI to 1.2 release. Yes, this one. So yeah, so I'm currently using the release candidate here, and test pass, all the tests passed except machine pool again in this PR2. So once the first one gets merged, this will be fine too. And our main will be pointing to Cluster API 1.2.0, the current release. That's an update.
Brilliant. Thanks, Steph. So yeah, I mentioned, this one is mine. So I mentioned earlier about that I've removed the lifecycle frozen off of all of the issues so that Prowl will start managing those. So just in case anyone, I'll put these queries up there. I've got some queries about PRs. So this one's been open over 9 months. So Prowl will shut it after, I forget how long it is. But we have actively closed a few that were older than 9 months since the last meeting that didn't have any movement on it. So we have one there. And then actually, if you look at PRs that are over 6 months, so we have quite a few there as well. So I guess we either need to get these actively worked on and finished off, reviewed and merged, or let Prowl do its thing and close them. This was an update. I spoke to Richard Chen about the AWS managed machine pools and using the launch template, and he's been a bit snowed under with work, but he intends to come back and finish this off soon. So I guess the main thing is not to use lifecycle frozen anymore. I was probably one of the biggest offenders of using that, and only use that in exceptional circumstances for, say, issues that we never ever want to close. Things like, I don't know, the networking topology changes, really things like that we never ever want to see go. But then we could periodically review PRs that are open more than that time. So Adish, you mentioned about how to get started with Kappa. So there's go for it, Adish. So
Hello. Yeah.
So we do have a getting started guide within the documentation. So that's probably a good place to start. If I can if you go to the documentation. So there's documentation. I guess that's the first thing. There's a documentation site that is accessible on the right-hand side here. So within there, we do have some documentation around getting started, around the developer's guide, and how to get started with Tilt as well. So these would be your two main documents for actually setting up your development environment and how to go about debugging. We also have, which we stopped. We ran a number of sessions which were new contributor sessions as well. The Kappa code walkthroughs. So we had an introduction for new contributors and then a code structures. So if I send you those two as links, they'll give you a good introduction and a good discussion and those documents. And when it comes to working on issues, we do mark issues with the help wanted and good first issues. Although I'm wondering actually how many we have in good first issues. Oh, 15. Okay, so we do actually have some. So you can use that label to filter down on issues that are, suitable for first contributions to this. The other thing is to join the Slack channel for us in the Kubernetes Slack, which do we have on here? Do we actually have it on here? Yeah, there we go. So that's also a good place to start and ask questions as well if you're not already a member of that channel.
Yeah. Thank you. It helps.
Cool. So that's the end of our agenda. Does anyone have any additional topics? So Def, go for it.
Yeah, forgot to mention about the timeline for the 1.5 release. So after we are done with the garbage collector, are we good to go for releasing 1.5? And also after merging, bumping the cluster API to 1.1.5 successful.
Yeah, I think so. Are there any other issues that people would like? There's a bug fix, I think, for managed machine pools. It would be good to get in there as well. Where is it? It is. I only know it because I did it. Author. Yeah, so that's this one here for AWS managed machine pool. Yeah, fails. So if we could get that in as well, just because that causes a few people some grief. 3483. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just keep a note of these. So we want 3483 garbage collector and manage machine pools update config. Are there
So
any?
if we target by the end of next week, do you think it is a?
Yeah.
I mean, we can make it work.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is that obviously the garbage collector is a fairly big change, so there'll be 4 PRs. So it is dependent on people reviewing. So if not, we can always do it with the small bug fixes.
Then okay.
Yeah, I guess yeah. If we do bug fixes, then it's not a new minor version, is it? It's a patch. We're already committed to a new minor version. Yeah, we can
10 days should be good enough, right? How about targeting?
Yeah.
Next week, Thursday, so that if things fail, we can work on it on Friday.
So next Thursday, that's the 4th of August. Is that right?
Or Monday the other week would also work if we don't want to rush it, because there will be two other PRs too.
Yeah, I'm good with either, to be honest.
Okay, then let's target Monday. I think it's better. It will give us 2 full weeks.
So that is Monday the 8th, is that? No, yeah, Monday the 8th.
And I can help with the reviews if you ping me on Slack.
Cool. Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Gogo. And I guess with the review, the release, did we want to a bit like Cappy are doing, having a release team and people shadowing so that they learn the release process for the future, or not?
We can open Zoom and anyone interested can join.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cool. Brilliant.
If we,
Sorry.
oh, sorry,
Go for
didn't
it.
raise my hand. I have to get used to Zoom again. If for whatever reason, this is just a suggestion. If for whatever reason you think that the GC is too big of too big piece of thing to release, then the IPv6 is like in fairly good state now. The end-to-end tests are passing. I tested the service, communication, and things like that. And it's in, and since it's an opt-in, shouldn't it shouldn't affect things that are already there. So you could also use that as a feature. But it's just a suggestion. If you think the GC is too big to tackle in 2 weeks, then I offer myself as a tribute.
Yeah, I think they're equally as big changes, aren't they? Potentially. I said, sorry, you started to talk.
Yeah, so you started writing a proposal out of the existing PR, right? And also you were gonna add end-to-end tests for the unmanaged side. I didn't check the latest status in the PR, but where are we at those?
So the end-to-end test right now is working for the managed one. The unmanaged, I don't have an unmanaged one, but that's a good point. I shall add that. And the proposal it does need review. This is my first time writing a proposal in Kappa, so I think it looks okay, but it might not confirm with the structures too much. I don't know. I need some input on that too, if it needs any change or not. But yeah, it's done. Technically, the drawings are missing. Sorry, images are missing. I wanna do some diagrams to see how IPv6 and Kappa connect. And I think that's the one missing.
Yeah, considering we have 2 weeks and already a big feature, it will be a little bit tight because we don't even merge the we didn't merge the proposal yet. So I'd opt for, if it is not blocking, I'd opt for waiting for the next release.
Sure.
So would that mean 1.5 garbage collector, 1.6 IPv6? Okay.
Mm-hmm, that works.
Okay, so just keep a note of that.
But if this is critical and we want this in, we can postpone the release date accordingly. I don't think we can make it work in 2 weeks, but we can always postpone the release.
No, I don't think it's critical.
Yeah, would we be happy? A question on that: would we be happy releasing both together?
That's stretching it. I think let's focus on one thing at a time.
Yeah, they're both opt-in, but yeah, I get your point. I'll throw that out there.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's a good point. As soon as we merge IPv6, we can make a quick release to have that feature. How about that?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. Okay. So brilliant. Cool. Any more for any more? Going once, going twice, 3 times the charm. Cool. Well, thanks for everyone for attending, and speak to you again in 2 weeks, if not before.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye.
Hey, thank you, everyone.
Bye.